go back and you would ask any of the educators that had me as a student, they would tell you that I probably thought Gerald would either be in jail or dead, right? And going back, you also mentioned not telling our age, right? When I graduated high school and I got my first job, my first high-paying tech job, I mailed in the resume. I mailed in the resume. Nobody knew who I was. There was no LinkedIn. There was no Facebook. There was none of this stuff. So I had the opportunity to rebrand myself to people who had no clue who I was. And I was very fortunate, by the grace of God, my parents decided to give me this good white man's name. So as my resume showed up on the desk of these companies and they spoke to me on the phone, they could not see me. They did not know who I was. They could not go to a social media platform and see who I was. All they knew was, here's this man who has an engineering degree and sound like what we sound like. And there was this shift from me understanding in school. Once I got to Norfolk State University, I had a professor say to me right out the gate from a good, solid HBCU, Norfolk State University, you are going to have to work 10 times harder than the same white man in your position who graduates with the same degree. You're going to have to work 10 times harder. And came from a place of love and not one where I realized, well, I'm not doing that. I knew out the gate, you're going to have to work 10 times harder. And I had this one instructor, my first year, Dr. Cropper, I submitted this paper. It's a 20-page paper. And he gave me the paper back. Everybody got their papers. They went off and they took their grades. And he gave me my paper back with no grade. And I'm like, yo, why I got my paper back with no grade? And he said, I want you to redo the paper. And he said, right now, I could grade that paper and it'll be a C paper, but I'm giving you the paper back. So I had friends in that class, and I'm like, yo, Dr. Cropper gave me my paper back. What you get on your paper? A C, a C, a C. I was like, yo, well, he told me I would get a C, but he gave me my paper back. So I resubmitted the paper. A couple days later, he gave me the paper back, and I go back to his office, and I'm like, what's going on? He was like, see, Mr. Moore, what you don't understand is your potential is not C potential. Mm-hmm. So where I've given C's to some of these other boys, they don't have your potential. So I'm not allowing you to submit C work to me because it's going to be you who's going to lead others and provide opportunity, where those other boys, they just workers. They don't have your potential. So I had someone who saw something in me that I didn't even see, which kind of laid the foundation for what I do today, right? And just having that understanding that I can't be mediocre, I can't be average, and having gone through some of the things I went through, realizing, Gerald, you're not average. And I was trying my best to be average. And a lot of people are out here trying their best to be average, right? When you uniquely gifted by God to be great, but because of the circle you hang with, because of things that happen in your family, because of all these other things, you are choosing to be average. Because to be great takes a little extra work, takes a little bit more preparation, takes a little bit more self-discipline, right? Another thing my father said to me, it takes a man to stand alone in the face of adversity. Mm-hmm. Many of us are not willing to stand alone in the face of adversity. If we got many people who are going against us, we rather join in the crowd than to just stand out in our greatness. Because once you decide to be great, you will be attacked. You will be attacked. But are you willing to go through that to showcase your unique greatness and what your gift is to the world? And that's what many of us lack. And many of us, we stuck in places because we're not willing to do what's required to get to that next step. And for me, it's always simple. To do anything, there's only one question. Are you willing? Because you're either willing or not willing. And that's it. There is no, well, if I had this, or if I had that, or if I had this, or I wasn't born with this. Are you willing or are you not willing to do the work that's required to get where you want to go?
I like that. I like that.